I was in my workshop on a quiet Tuesday evening, sanding down the final curves of a custom oak cabinet for a client, when my phone lit up on the workbench beside a pile of sawdust. I brushed off my hands and read the message from my wife, Danielle, who casually informed me she was flying out that weekend with her old college boyfriend, Marcus, for a reconnecting getaway, and added that I shouldn't make it weird. I stared at the screen for a long moment, recognizing the message for exactly what it was. A carefully worded trap designed to make me look either paranoid or pathetic no matter how I responded. Rather than give her the reaction she was fishing for, I simply typed back, "Have a good trip," set the phone face down on the workbench, and returned to sanding the cabinet as if nothing in my world had shifted at all. What Danielle didn't know was that her text wasn't the beginning of a confrontation. It was the final piece of a puzzle I had already been quietly assembling for months, made of missed calls, late-night work dinners, and a growing distance I'd chosen not to name out loud until now. By the time I locked up the shop that night, the plan forming in my head wasn't born of rage but of calm, methodical clarity, the kind that only comes once uncertainty finally turns into fact. When I got home, I didn't slam a single door or raise my voice. Instead, I walked straight to our bedroom closet and started documenting everything Danielle owned, from her designer boots to the shopping bags she'd never bothered to unpack. I photographed every shelf and drawer before packing her belongings into labeled moving boxes, working through the night with the same steady precision I used when assembling custom furniture. Because I wanted no argument later about what had or hadn't been taken. By 2 in the morning, 16 boxes stood stacked in neat rows along the hallway, and the bedroom that once felt cluttered with her presence now echoed with an unfamiliar stillness. Before finally lying down, I gathered our joint financial paperwork, my business records, and both of our passports into the fireproof safe in my office, then reprogrammed the garage entry code and removed her devices from our home network, sealing the house the way I would seal off a finished project. The next morning, I remembered Danielle had posted a photo weeks earlier of a rooftop bar with a caption tagging a luxury high-rise called the Beacon Residences, the same building where I'd once heard her mention Marcus had recently bought a condo. I contacted a local moving company I'd used for large furniture deliveries, told the coordinator I had a full load of personal items to drop off, and gave them the address for Unit 9B along with the name Danielle Ashford. The movers arrived by mid-morning, and I helped load every box into the truck myself, tucking a sealed envelope on top of the final crate that simply read, "Marcus, these are Danielle's things. It seems she'd rather build a life with you now, so consider this a head start. No hard feelings, Ethan." Within the hour, the driver sent me a photo confirming delivery. 16 boxes stacked neatly outside the correct door, and I forwarded that same image to Danielle with a single line, "Everything you need is waiting for you." That evening, I called a locksmith to rekey every door in the house, and by the time he finished, the home finally felt like it belonged to only one person again. I thought of my younger sister, Priya, a first-year nurse working brutal night shifts and driving nearly 90 minutes each way from her cramped apartment, and when I offered her the newly empty guest room rent-free in exchange for splitting utilities, she showed up before sunset with 2 duffel bags and a look of stunned gratitude I hadn't seen directed at me in years. By Sunday, my phone had lit up with a string of increasingly frantic voicemails. The first from Danielle demanding to know why her belongings were sitting outside Marcus's door. The second, far shakier, as she admitted the trip had gotten complicated and that Marcus wanted nothing to do with the boxes cluttering his hallway. A mutual friend later told me the getaway had unraveled almost immediately, with Marcus refusing to let her stay once he realized what her arrival actually meant, leaving Danielle stranded with 16 boxes and no plan for where to go next. Just before midnight, the doorbell camera showed Danielle standing on the porch, suitcase in hand, jabbing uselessly at a key that no longer fit the lock, her confusion sliding quickly into panic as she pounded on the door and shouted for me to let her in. Through the intercom, I told her calmly that I hadn't locked her out. I had simply helped her get exactly where she'd said she wanted to be. And when Priya's voice drifted down the hallway asking if everything was all right, Danielle went completely silent, finally understanding that the space she'd once claimed as hers had already been filled by someone else. 3 weeks later, we sat across from each other in a small courtroom while the divorce was finalized in under half an hour. The house, the workshop, and every shared account remaining exactly where I'd secured them, while Danielle walked away with nothing but the boxes she'd already forced me to send elsewhere. Months afterward, sitting on the porch with the sound of Priya laughing on the phone with a friend drifting through the open window, I finally deleted the old screenshot of Danielle's text for good, realizing that true freedom hadn't come from chasing nostalgia the way she had, but from the quiet, solid ground I now stood on without her. If this story resonated with you, we'd love for you to be part of our growing community of listeners who enjoy real, emotionally powerful storytelling like this one. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.